Ready. Play.
Marta, obviously not the match you would hope for today or the result, but you must be proud of your results this week overall.
Well, yeah, of course it sucks to lose in the final, and especially a match like this. I couldn't produce a fight, and you know, she was really on top today, so yeah, but overall obviously very proud of myself this week.
Okay, first question.
Marta, congrats on the final. In terms of not being able to produce the fight today, how much of that was the crazy week kind of catching up to you today, and how much of it was the tennis that Elena was able to produce?
I think 90% my tiredness played a role today. I was, you know, I really, every morning I didn't know what to expect from myself on the court today, because really me being able to pull it off this whole week and, you know, play an amazing tennis yesterday was something incredible and something I would never expect I can do. So, but today it was, you know, obviously I was very nervous. I wanted to win a lot this one, and yeah, I think there were a lot of things together, and yeah, I just couldn't probably bear it anymore.
Next one.
Did you have the feeling before the match that you are tired, or well, did it then really come in and you were not able to recover?
I don't know, because I wasn't looking for this feeling before the match. If I'm tired or not, I just try to prepare myself as much as possible for this match. And yeah, and when I was on court, it was one point after another, game after game, and yeah, I really couldn't produce pretty much anything today.
You're rightly proud of your achievements this week and this year as a whole. I heard that in your speech afterwards. But you were very frustrated on that last point. You know, you showed it with the racket throw. Do you sort of think that you didn't quite, you know, do yourself justice today?
I think it was more like, have you ever lost a match for Porsche? That hurts. I mean, honestly, when I lost a match in San Diego, it didn't hurt as much as today, because it's it's the only tournament in the world when you win something in the final besides, you know, a title and the prize money. So of course, this is something I really wanted, and yeah, I think whoever loses here in the final will understand me really well.
Marta, would you then consider this week what you said in terms of what you were able to pull off this week? Is this week a breakthrough week for you in terms of what you were able to accomplish? Does it feel that way?
It's much shorter tournament than a Grand Slam, even though it's a very high level tournament. So I don't know, you know, because the, you know, tennis itself is a very different every day, every tournament, and you know, I can play 500 and play 4 out of 5 matches against top 10 players, but Kim Wen this year in Australia, she made it to the final of a Grand Slam without facing top 50 player, you know. So it's like, you don't know, you know, it's like, is it enough to win a Grand Slam when you play final of this tournament or not? Or you need to perform better, or, you know, it's like, I don't measure these things if, you know, it was a breakthrough or not, because I had really a lot of incredible weeks this year, and they were all very different level of players, but I was, some weeks I was overcoming more stuff, you know, some weeks less, but I don't probably measure it in a way if it was a breakthrough or not, because it was an amazing week, and I went through a lot of things, and I managed to push through and come out on the other side better, and this is the only thing I'm focusing on. But I don't really take this as something like incredible, you know, like wow, week of my life or whatever. No, of course it was a great week, but moving on.
Magda, congratulations. How would you describe the impact of Sandra Zaniewska on your game, on your improvement?
I mean, you can see the results. I will not tell you a lot of specific things, but she definitely has and had a lot of impact on my game and on my life. So it's important to have someone like this by your side, especially if it's someone that is close to you.
Okay, we'll do two more, John, and then yeah.
Hi Marta. So at 6-2, 5-2, 40-15 down, you're facing 2 match points. You would go on to face another one as well, which I think you saved. Did you still believe at that point, or did you think, I just can't do this for another hour? Or did maybe your other matches this week help you in that moment think, I could get back into this? It was obviously a long way behind.
I was thinking this way earlier than match point. I tell you this. That I will not be able to handle this for more than 1 hour. Yeah, I mean, I'm a human being at the end of the day, like all of us, Of course, it's like, it's not like I was giving up at the end, but on the match points, I was like, you gotta fight till the end, because what if she just falls now and she cannot get up and you win? It's like these kind of things but this is the only thing you can really do in these moments, because you can be delusional, but to a certain point, I'm not that delusional yet to believe in something like this, because, I mean, it was really a tough week for me, and I had a very, very good player on the other side, so, I was fighting, but I still, I don't feel like I believed in a miracle today.
Okay, last one.
Well, would you please give us a literal translation of the Ukrainian motto you gave at the end, and the other thing, maybe an insight about these last moments, the racket damage, you having your face behind your towel, and then re-getting composure, and then obviously the new challenge by the Ukrainian support during the ceremony.
So, sorry, what's the question?
What you said in the speech.
Yes.
He wants to understand what that.
Slava
that was in
Ukrainian.
English. How do you think?
Slava Ukrainian?
Yes. Yeah.
It's a saying that we say in Ukraine. It says "Glory to Ukraine," and people reply "Glory to heroes." So I used to say it before as well, but it became more mainstream when the war began. So I mean, it's kind of like, I take it as I recognize Ukrainian people abroad because this is the way for example, I don't know, we're in Monaco, for example, and there is there are a lot of Russians, of course, and Ukrainian people, and if I see someone that I think is Ukrainian, I say Slava Ukraini, and if they don't reply, I definitely know that they're Russian. So, but I think it's important to give this recognition, to Ukraine and everything that we've been through as a nation, and now it's a very difficult time, and it's continuing to be a difficult time. So I don't want anyone to forget about it, really, because it's still happening.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Ready? Play.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to what is the last final of today. It is a rematch of the final which took place mere 7 days ago, not too far from the location that this final is taking place in. Of course, we're in Barcelona at the moment, and the final I'm referring to is, of course, the Monte Carlo final from, like I said, 7 days ago, where Stefanos Tsitsipas was the victor that time, picking up his third Monte Carlo Masters 1000 title. But today we've got a rematch. Is it revenge? A bet dish? Best served in Barcelona in the case of Ruud. Will he flip the script? Only time will tell as players are going to come out and get ready to start serving. As we know for these two players, or at least I've managed to, at least I quickly found out and put on Twitter yesterday evening, both players have a little bit of an unfortunate, a kind of chip on their shoulder or a monkey on their back sort of thing when it comes to the 500 level, or at least the 500 and above in the case of Casper Ruud. Stefanos Tsitsipas has never won an ATP 500 title. He has had 10 attempts, twice in Barcelona and a few others dotted across the world, but has never been able to win a match. Mainly he has come up against players who are better than him, granted in those matches, but he's never won in 10 attempts. So he's hoping to get rid of that monkey from his back. And in the case of Casper Ruud, it's a classic one that I think everybody knows. He has had 7 attempts to win a title above 500, above 250 level, and he has never won one yet. Could today be the day? As we have Ruud serving at the moment, and they're just he's just finding his form at this point here, just getting himself a let cord on the first serve. Chose to go down the line. Oh, a double fault. That's one way to start this contest off. As you probably see, you've got me at the moment. Of course, James, as you can see, my little handle thing down there. For anyone who doesn't know who I am, I know a few people in the chat should hopefully know who I am. I hope so, at least. And we're going to hopefully be joined by Vanch and also Damien a little bit later on, hopefully in a couple of minutes or so for both of those two. So you get like a a trio of us to take you through this contest, as we've got a bit of a forehand to backhand exchange. One of the issues, and I think that's not an issue anymore, or at least it wasn't for that point there, that Ruud had in the previous contest, was down to his forehand, which, if anyone watched it, could clearly tell that it was absolutely terrible in that contest in Monte Carlo. It wasn't finding its form. It was constantly hitting the net or out wide, into the tram lines, anywhere but the island that it needs to be. And on that first forehand winner, I think we start to see that Ruud's forehand may be in a bit of a better state, which will help make sure this contest is hopefully a bit of a better contest. It's probably the best word to use there than what we saw a bit ago. Good morning, Ashley. Good to see you joining. Okay, so who doesn't know who James is? Matthew saying, I am backing Ruud to perform way better than his last final. I am too, Matthew. I hope it's much better than that last final. It was certainly a bit of a letdown in Monaco last week. And we don't want that to be the same here. As it is currently, Tsitsipas has just got a little early opportunity at the moment on the Ruud serve. Ruud just doesn't want to give up an early break yet. I would say it's a bit weird. It's not that sunny in Barcelona at the moment as Ruud hits a forehand into the net. Oh dear, maybe the forehand is going to be a little bit temperamental for Ruud today. I can see Ghosty saying Coventry coming. Well, as you can tell, my top on here, keeping a small eye on the fact of the FA Cup semi-final, which is also taking place in 15 minutes' time, which involves my club and John's club as well, Manchester United, not Barcelona, that's the other football team, Manchester United, who are playing Coventry City in that one there. As Tsitsipas does have 2 break points already, but he has just lost one of those break points. Brilliant bit of play there by Ruud. And now it is a second break point that he's looking to take. Let's just keep a good watchful eye in contest. If you haven't already, please do vote in the poll in the chat. Who do you think is going to win? Is it going to be Ruud? Or is it going to be Tsitsipas? Oh, Ruud comes forward. Oh, and the forehand has caused a problem. First game in, and Ruud has already been broken. Yikes. Hey, Vanch.
Hello. Hello there, James. How are you?
I'm doing pretty all right, pretty all right. You just joined as Tsitsipas has broken Ruud in the first service game.
Oh man, yeah. I think I'm like maybe a point behind you, but I will try to catch up.
Oh, cool. I'll try. If let me know how your screen looks, so we can try and sync it up as best as possible.
Yeah.
On
I'm actually not using Tennis TV because their streams are down right now.
Oh yeah,
So-
I've been trying on my laptop. It hasn't worked. I've got Tennis TV up on my iPad that seems to be working fine.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, then I might just.
Unfortunately, though, I can't seem to get Tennis TV to work on my PC, which probably, given the fact you just said that the servers are down or something's down, then explains it.
Oh man.
At the moment, well, Tsitsipas is looking to serve now. First
Okay.
serve.
Yes. It is working on my phone, which is good.
Oh, good. Backhand by Ruud. Oh, little drop shot by Tsitsi. Ruud just about gets to it. Tsitsipas puts it away. Ruud gets to it again. Oh, it's little tiki-taka at the net by both of those two players. Tsitsipas just the one to be able to keep on top of that one.
Yeah, using the drop shot effectively.
Used that really well. Brought Ruud forward, and then they were just playing with each other at the net there. Actually saying no, as for Casper, maybe that game was not it. It certainly was not it. Who do you expect's going to win this then, Vanch?
I still have Tsitsipas winning, but I feel like it'll be a closer match than Monte Carlo.
Is that a educated opinion or more of a hope based off what happened last week?
No, I definitely think that Tsitsipas this week hasn't impressed me a whole lot compared to Monte Carlo. I feel like he's had to grind through a lot of his matches. Obviously had the match point saves in the quarterfinals against Facundo Diaz Acosta, where he was basically like this close to being out of the tournament. And then also dropped the opening set in the semi yesterday, and I feel like Ruud maybe goes into this with less of a fear factor than he did in Monte Carlo. And I'm curious to see like what adjustments he makes, especially on the second serve return. Because I feel like the second set in Monte Carlo, he started to make some progress, but he just didn't have his forehand firing to the fullest.
No, I agree.
I wonder if this time is the time he can at least take a set, make it more competitive, feel like he has almost an equal chance. But that's also just me hoping for a better final than last week.
Yeah, about to say, I think there's a bit of both sort of rolling around there. I mean, there must admit both players haven't exactly looked at their stellar best this week in Barcelona. It's as you say, Tsitsipas has been drawn into some quite heavy contests the last couple of rounds, and I know Ruud was a bit touch and go, his ability to try and get through Echeverry yesterday. There's Steph does just a good shot out wide, comes to the net, and then just forehand down the line, right to the back of Ruud, who expects it to go cross court. Tsitsipas goes down the tee, backhand by Ruud, forehand cross court by Tsitsipas, backhand, but not enough height and shape on that one from Ruud. It just goes into the net with a bit of a fud. So Tsitsipas looking good to get on a game point here. Somebody outside my house is now revving a motorcycle engine.
It's like 3 p.m. for you?
It is 3 p.m., yeah, or 3:20. What time is it your side, Vanch?
7:20 in the morning.
In the morning?
So, yeah.
Ouch, yikey.
Yeah, the clay and grass season is a rough one for us here. The matches basically started like 2 or 3 a.m.
Yikes. Because you're West Coast, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's even worse, actually, isn't it, for you?
That time, Ruud being a bit more offensive on the second serve return, which is definitely what he needs to try to do, because in Monte Carlo, Tsitsipas stayed 8 out of 8 break points, and a lot of times he went to the go-to second serve and volley, take advantage of Ruud's deep court position. So
Forehand,
it's
but that
good.
was just slightly wide there by Ruud.
And he also got away with a really low first serve percentage, and mostly his second serve did the heavy lifting. So that was interesting tactically.
Matthew's asking, did you at all watch the Rybakina Kostniak match? I know that would have probably been 4 o'clock in the morning your time, so I
Yeah,
don't know
no,
if
I
you
did
would
not.
have been
Yeah,
awake for
but
that.
it looks like from the score event, I did not miss. I did not miss much.
I watched it. It wasn't much of a match to talk about, to be honest.
Yeah.
Rybakina just outpowered her really quite well.
I will say I'm more of a morning person, especially when it comes to tennis. So
Well, certainly your side of the track shall have to be if you want to keep up with the sport. Crikey, I mean,
yeah,
you have to get a bad early. It's one of the things in which I always remember when the Australian swing happens, at least in UK times, is that okay? So it's only really for 1 month of the year that we have to get up super early to be able to watch any of the tennis, and it's usually all over by midday UK time. But I'm like, actually, a lot of people in say the States and whatnot during the European clay, grass, and the indoor season, which is makes up near enough 5 months of the year. You're having to do that exact thing to be able to keep up with tennis.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess for you guys also the US swing is maybe a little bit like tougher. But
it can be. We're able to watch all the daytime stuff without any problems because that's almost like our prime time. But then when it comes to the night sessions, then that's like past midnight, but all night. So it's a case of I can't really watch any of that, which is a bit of a shame 2 years ago with the Serena US Open matches, which everybody wanted to see in Europe, but unless you were prepared to stay past midnight, you weren't really able to actually watch them.
Right, yeah, that's Australia for the West Coast US. Like we can watch all the day session after work, but then the night session you have to make a choice. You want to stay up past midnight.
The joys of following a sport which goes all the way around the world.
Yeah. I guess the people in Australia and Asia Pacific must be rough for them most of the year.
Oh yeah, it's horrible. Yeah, as you say, I mean, they'll be able to watch in the mornings the night session stuff from the US. So like all the but as you say, if they're working, then they're not able to watch it during like a classic 9 to 5 schedule. Yeah, so it is a case of either having to stay up super late or get up super early.
Yep, Coach Tsitsipas, yep, 2-love, 38% first serve, winning most of the points, but yeah.
Right, they're both just all sat down at the moment. First sit down of the changeover. Ruud was able to hold his service game last, so he's at least on the board. Now he's having to hunt down a break of the Tsitsipas serve.
Yeah. Also, this is a good week for players born in the early 90s. Vucevic and Struff winning titles.
Oh, did Vucevic win in the end?
Yeah, I just saw a tweet from Damien.
With
Vucevic winning his second career title. So, looks like he beat Mariano Navone.
Yeah, Navone is certainly solidifying himself as a main tour player.
Yeah. Finals of Rio as well.
Yeah, that's where he sort of came, kind of shot up as saying, "Hey, I exist" to the main tourers, and to be honest, he shouldn't have been in that final. Cam didn't have a heat exhaustion issue. He probably would have won that match. But no, Navone is, he got to the quarters, I think it was, or at least the quarters or the semis of in Marrakesh, and now the final in Bucharest. I mean, it's not a bad going.
Yeah.
Solidifies himself around 50 in the world, so he'll get into all the main tour events.
Absolutely. Yeah, of course, Swarna. That's one of the storylines of this. If Ruud wins this, it'll be his first 500. It'll actually also be the first 500 for Tsitsipas. So someone's walking away with the first 500 title. I suppose for Ruud, it's more significant because he's still yet to win a title above the 250 level. 0-7 in the finals. Just winning that one set to Alcaraz in the U.S. Open in 2022. So
Is that as close as he's got?
yeah,
Ouch. Because even on that one, you still need to win 2 more sets.
right.
Yeah, I mean, he's been in some pretty big finals. Looking back, like we say, 2 French Opens, 1 US Open, 1 final in Miami, 1 final. There's another final he's been in as well, which is Monte Carlo. He's been in the ATP, the ATP finals final, and then also Acapulco.
Exactly. Yep, those are the 7. So this would be his 8th.
I've got a great memory, Vance. He's working well today.
Yeah, good recall.
Whereas Tsitsipas, I think he's been a couple of Rotterdam finals, couple in one in Hamburg, couple here in Barcelona, 1 in Astana.
Yeah, actually 3 in Barcelona before this. So this
3 in Wow, yeah, 3 in Barcelona.
Yeah, a couple in Dubai as well. So yeah, I mean, he's been in 10 finals at 500 level. But I suppose when you've won 3 Masters and won 1,000, it's less of a story.
Yeah, because you've gone that one level above, so you don't really need to prove yourself at this level.
Yeah. He's also ran into Nadal and Alcaraz in all of these matches, and so.
And Djokovic as well. And Djokovic as well. Yeah, he's
Alcaraz withdrew from Barcelona. I felt like this would be a good opportunity for Steph, given his record here.
I mean, what do you think this does to certainly these 2 players' prospects for the French Open? They've got to the final here. Tsitsipas won Monte Carlo. With Ruud in the final there. They're both in the final here. One of these 2 will win this title. Does this put them in like a clear tier 2 status, do you think, for the French Open?
Yeah, I think tier 2 is pretty fair. Like behind, I'd probably put Tsitsipas behind Sinner still, even though Sinner, even though Tsitsipas won that match in Monte Carlo. Obviously there was a bit of a line call thing at 3-1, and if the umpire sees that, then Sinner goes up 2 breaks in the second set. So it's obviously tough to see Sinner losing from that position, but still, I kind of want to see more matches still with Sinner pushed on the clay and all of that, but with Yannick's phenomenal 6 months and just how good he can still play on the clay, even though we still haven't seen it in maybe the entirety yet. I still would put him in tier 1. So I'd put Tsitsipas at like maybe the 4th right now, like the top of tier 2, and then you obviously have Ruud in there. You probably have Zverev in there too. You probably have Bruna right now is not really showing that type of form that he had last year.
No, I certainly would have. I would have Ruud as like a tier 3. Runa as a tier 3 almost at this stage. Like somebody who can play on the surface and is comfortable on the surface, but whose results currently aren't really showing that he could, be a serious threat.
Fair, yeah. I'd probably have him in tier 3 as well with Medvedev.
Medvedev, and I would, just because he can be good on all surfaces. I know he's not playing well at the moment, but I think he could come back. Maybe Rublev as well in that tier 3.
Sure, yeah. I guess tier 3 would be long.
Yeah. I mean, you could put like Hurkacz or whatnot in that tier as well, to be honest, given the results he's managed to pick up so far.
Right. Yeah, it's like kind of those players that you would be shocked if they lost early, but you'd be shocked if they were past the quarters.
Yeah, like you'd expect them in the quarterfinals, but if they get any further than that, you'd be like, "Oh, this is a bit of a surprise." But Ruud is doing okay at the moment. At least trying to hold his serve. It doesn't look like we're going to be at a 6-1 first set, like it was last time. There we go, and that is Ruud still sticking at it. That's interesting, actually. Where would you put Nadal in any of those tiers?
Oh, Nadal is like the total X factor. He's like I don't think he belongs in any tier. He's just he's just Nadal at Roland Garros. So obviously, if he shows up, then and between now and then, I mean, I just hope he's able to stay healthy and get in a couple of matches and just kind of bow out by playing a really competitive match against a good player. That's kind of what I would hope at this point.
No, I'd certainly agree with you on that one. It's he looked okay. At least match competitive this week. And now it's a case of seeing how well he can do in Madrid and Rome, really, if he can make sure he can play those 2 tournaments.
Yeah, the goal of Barcelona was probably just get a couple of matches in and just don't hurt yourself. If you do that, then it's considered
a success.
Yeah.
I mean, he beat, Corboli is no mug of a player. I mean, he's a very good player.
Yeah.
So to be able to beat him in straights and actually what looked like quite comfortably in straights is really good going actually from the guy.
Yeah, managed to play competitively for the first set against Alex. Had a break point to go up 5-3 in that match, and then just kind of, I guess, physically, Alex was able to really wear him down at the end. But I guess there were maybe a few things like still that he, still defensively, even if he's not moving at his very best, and if he's not able to serve, even then, still feels like there's still a handful of players he can beat in the early stages. But then, when he faces someone in the top 20, that would be more interesting. But I suppose if he's able to, Cam Norrie, Ghosty is referring to like the Australian Open. We had a stream here, and I was just like, we were supposed to commentate a Medvedev match, but I was just watching Cam Norrie like play some absolute baller tennis.
Hey,
first week, and it was those 3rd and 4th round matches he played against Casper and Zverev, where I was like, okay, this is some of the best tennis I've seen from Norrie in a while.
Yeah, I was watching that match on Talking Tennis. Funny enough, the Casper Ruud one, and it was some of the, as you say, the best tennis I've seen Cam play probably probably ever really. You don't have the heartbreak of following the guy closely and having to watch every single match he partakes in and getting really frustrated all the time.
Oh, and Tsitsipas misses that smash badly.
He does, doesn't he? He had a couple of them. A couple of them earlier on. Ruud's got a half chance here.
Yeah,
I think destroying Beast 3-6-9. So who do you guys have winning? I think you said you had Tsitsipas winning. I'm going to go opposite. I'm going to go Ruud. Right. I think the baby-faced assassin will find a way. I say baby-faced assassin because he's got a very lovable face. He'll find a way to win his first 500 title.
Yeah, that would certainly rest to bed some of the allegations online. Let's say from, I guess, the haters.
Oh, it's a bit of a Ruud's on it here. Comes forward, goes for the smash, hits the backboard, and that's it. 2 break points for Casper. So looking all right, looking a bit dangerous here. He's having a bit of a sniff.
Yeah, the forehand doing a ton of damage in that point.
Certainly having a bit of a sniff here. Okay, goes okay. So Tsitsipas tried to go out wide, hit the net. So second serve. So it goes out wide again. Forehand by Casper up the line. Backhand by Tsitsipas. Forehand by Casper. Backhand by Tsitsipas. Cross court both exchanges at the moment. Forehand down the line by Tsitsipas. Oh, and he just catches Ruud out there. Ruud tries to go for a forehand up the line slice, or at least a block return, and it just didn't get far enough when it went into the net. So the first of the 2 break points have been saved. Okay, down the line, forehand by Ruud as a block return. Tsitsipas comes to the net. backhand cross court, and it's a brilliant backhand cross court by Ruud. Had a nice, nasty angle to it, and Tsitsipas unable to get any real connection on it to try and block it back over, and he just flats it into the ground.
That was an ideal approach because you want to go to the Ruud backhand and make him come up with a passing shot. But this time Casper actually had the answer and was able to take it a bit earlier.
Had a brilliant passing shot, really low over the net. It stayed.
Yeah.
Really surprised Tsitsipas. Actually, he did seem a bit surprised, but trying to return that one.
Yeah, this is already looking a lot more competitive than last week.
This is looking much better than last week. Up the line, forehand, forehand cross court, fought backhand by Tsitsipas. And brilliantly located there by Ruud. Good shake of the racket. He's happy with that one. Brilliant point construction. Sean saying, a close final. Praise the Lord. Go with you on that one, Sean. Cross up the line. Forehand by Tsitsipas. Forehand by Ruud. Backhand by Tsitsipas. Oh, really takes him out wide. Down the line by Tsitsipas. Cross court. Forehand by Ruud. Forehand by Tsitsipas. Oh, nice slice. Into the net comes Ruud. Cross court, but no luck. And that's 15 all.
Yeah, Tsitsipas going after his backhand on the line and then running over and defending the forehand. So it's a good play by him there. Yeah, Struff getting his first ATP title. Huge story, especially because he's come so close in the past, making 3 finals. Had a championship point on Tiafoe in Stuttgart.
That was a heartbreaker. I remember watching that Stuttgart final.
Yeah. It's amazing though that he had to wait a whole, year and so long on almost 34. He's had such a good career without that first title, but yeah, that must feel really good to get it in your hometown as well in Munich.
Yeah, is he from Munich?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, what it shows really is that it's as much as we see different winners, we can see a lot of different winners every single week. It is incredibly hard to win these titles. Yeah. You've really got to, especially, okay, at 250 level, you're okay. He lucked at he was quite fortunate the fact that he was one of the top 4 seeds, so he got a bye to the second round. But you've got to put it together for 5 matches in 7 days, realistically. So to be able to do that, and it was a pretty tough field as well. You had to come through both Rune and also Fritz to be able to pick up the title. I mean.
Right, his route was not easy at all. I mean, Botek in the first match as well. Like he's made 2 finals in Munich, came so close last year against Rune. So like him, and then Felix, and then Rune, and then Fritz. That's quality 250 right there.
Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate. It was another sort of letdown week from kind of Zverev in the Munich tournament. He doesn't seem to do that well actually at Munich, although he constantly keeps on playing it. And it's a surface he's one of his best surfaces is clay. Although Garin's is an incredibly good clay court, so you would kind of expect Zverev, in a big tournament to come through a Garin, and something like playing at home in Germany, you'd kind of expect a player's level to be a little bit higher than the average, how it would be normal week to week. So. Yeah, it's recently he's not had a great time in Munich.
Yeah, he won the title in 2017 and 18, but since then hasn't been good for him. He lost twice to Garin since then. So yeah.
But what do you think about the conditions though that was taking place in Munich this week?
Yeah, man, wasn't it like hailing or snowing or something? It was like really cold, like 2 degrees or 3 degrees.
One day it was definitely snowing in the morning. It was pretty much forecast for rain every single day of the week, and there was rain at some point every single day of the week. And in the final, the commentator said that it is 2 degrees here at the moment, Celsius.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I saw the people in the crowd; they were dressed like it's they were in Antarctica or something. It was like freezing. Yeah,
I mean, I know.
Sleeves.
I mean, it's bizarre. I mean, I don't know if it was just because it was a freak weather or if that's like the more natural weather for the area. Because I know that for events in the past that have taken place in Munich, they have been cold at times, but cold in terms of maybe going to like 12, 13, 14 degrees, not necessarily, freezing, but, nippy. It's the best way to describe it. And when the sun comes out, it could rise up to around about 20, but for it to be constantly below 10 degrees all week, I mean, yikes, real yikes for the players that had to try and perform in that. I mean, there was that classic clip of FAA with the mittens on trying to drink some water. I mean, that you shouldn't really be, all the players wearing full-on body warmers when they're out in the court. I mean, it's troubling, actually, if that is what the weather is normally like in Munich, why that tournament has then been given the ATP 500 title for next year. Is that tournament ready to host one of the biggest prestige, one of the most biggest types of tournaments that there are on the ATP circuit?
Yeah, that's going to be a concern for next year when it's a 500. Is it going to be in the same week of the calendar as Barcelona?
Yes, it's in the same week of the calendar. They haven't moved where it is.
That would be interesting.
I mean, to me, Munich kind of strikes me as one of those tournaments that may be better served if it was actually in that July period, that post-Wimbledon clay, because I think the weather would be much better, and Munich would be a lovely place to go visit on the tour.
Right.
Especially
part of the year is going to get smaller, right, because of the 2-week Masters.
Yeah, they've cut it down from 3 weeks to 2 weeks now for 2025.
All right, so a bit of a momentum swing here so far.
Yeah, I've got 15 love to Ruud at the moment. Forehand by Ruud, backhand by Tsitsipas, forehand by Ruud, just out. Tsitsipas just did enough to push Ruud well behind the baseline, keep him pinned there. All going well. Tsitsipas is now 30-15 up. Oh, the clouds don't look too impressive above the stadium. Okay, Tsitsipas 40-15, looking to level it up again. Just with the serves at the moment. Goes up the line. Forehand by Ruud. Forehand by Tsitsipas. Backhand by Ruud. Forehand by Tsitsipas. Cross-court exchange. Drop shot by Tsitsipas. Ruud gets to it, but unfortunately unable to get it over the net. So that is 4 games apiece. So we're into the business end of this set. And currently, nothing to tell between them. Only a break each so far.
Yeah, very little between them.
Very little between both these two teams, or both these two people.
Ruud with an 86% first serve percentage so far. So
86%.
Good job.
Yikes, that's incredibly good. It's having to be that good to probably live with Tsitsipas in some points.
yeah,
What a slice, but Tsitsipas reads it, goes for the smash, and the first point goes to Tsitsipas.
yeah. He's actually sacrificing a little bit of speed on the first serve and just trying to get the point started and make a high percentage of them. But actually, there, yeah, Tsitsipas came up with was dictating the whole rallies there. So with the forehand doing all the damage.
Okay, so 15 all at the moment. Still going good backhand there. Oh, little bit of a slice at the net, a little bit of a drop shot slice at the net there by Ruud. Really controlled the net play there well.
Yeah, it's good coming in there, approaching Tsitsipas's backhand. Good hands.
Forehand backhand by Tsitsipas, forehand by Ruud. Oh, really? Dummy's trying to be sold. Forehand. Oh, it was a weak forehand up the line by Tsitsipas, but he just sells enough of a dummy to Ruud to get the point.
Yeah, makes him defend with the slice and then gets the swing volley, but just enough to go behind him, catch him off guard.
So I know it's something that popped up. I don't know. You probably already talked about it maybe yesterday or whatnot. What do you think of Gabrielle Muguruza's retirement?
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like she was ready for this. Like, hasn't been on the tour for over a year, and she seems to be really enjoying her life outside of tennis. And she had a brilliant career, former world number one for 4 weeks, won the WTA finals, won Wimbledon, won Roland Garros, made another Wimbledon final, so Australian Open final as well. So honestly, probably she said I achieved more than I'd ever thought I would. So she's like in her happy place now, and yeah, she should be properly celebrated. I assume she'll be in the Hall of Fame as well with that resume.
Yeah, 2 Grand Slam titles, a couple of Masters W100, WTA 1000s.
Yeah, 3 1000s and a
Right.
yeah, and a year final. So it's quite good.
Any Olympic success? I don't know. I've got a feeling she's got some sort of silverware at the Olympics.
Might have been not in singles for sure.
No. Maybe. Don't know if she got like a bronze or sometime or whatnot.
Yeah, obviously beat Serena and Venus to win her majors.
It's a pretty impressive thing to be able to say.
Yeah. But yeah, when she was on, she was a lot of fun to watch. She was super explosive. And really had these like flat, powerful ground strokes.
to get a great shot of this temporary stadium that they built up in what was it, Piazza Rafael Nadal.
Yeah, it's still the ultimate flex to have a stadium named after you while you're still playing. Like it's
brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah. Struve, by the way, also in the doubles final. Amazingly, he played 3 matches yesterday, or I guess
He's
2.5.
He's determined to win it all in Munich.
Yeah.
Who was the last player on the men's side to do the double-double? I can remember in 22 when Ruud won Marseille in both the singles and the doubles.
Yeah. I feel like there was one recently where they both won the titles. I mean, I know on the WTA, I remember Krejcikova winning San Diego in singles and doubles because I was there for that. But like on the men's side, I'm trying to think.
Who's done the double? Who has recently done a double-double? Get a good bit of play here. Tsitsipas just looking very solid on his serve at the moment. Ruud at the moment is being 5-4 up. He's hoping to maybe get that break now and take the set. Well, at least now Ruud can boast the fact that he's now won more. He's won the same amount of games in this match as he did as the one last week.
Yeah. Step-by-step improvement. It's quite cool that we've seen 3 matches now between them this year, and like for almost 2 years they didn't meet each other.
Really?
It's like they played twice in 2021 in Madrid and Toronto. They split both matches, and then nothing for almost 3 years.
It's a bit like, as I say, it's like a bit like London buses.
Yeah,
for a while. And
they've been in like 5 slam finals, combined since then, but they just never met each other. So that's
5 slam finals these two have been in.
Yeah.
So it's the past coming the closest in 21, being 2 sets to love up against Djokovic.
Yeah.
I feel really bad because me watching tennis regularly didn't start until the Wimbledon after that final. So I had which was in 21. So because I went to Wimbledon in 21 for the first time, and I was like, do you know what? After watching Wimbledon that 2 weeks, I'm like, I'm not just going to do what everyone else does, which is just we watch Wimbledon that 2 weeks and Queen's the week before, and that's the only tennis I watched during the year. I was like, I know Amazon, which I had at the time, had the tennis. I was like, I'm going to watch, see what these things are every week because this is a really good sport to follow. So I got like loads of people, especially when I started to, look into like people on Twitter and whatnot, who were saying how good Tsitsipas was on clay and whatnot. I was like, well, I don't really remember this guy. I don't know this guy. I don't remember that, and people like talking, waxing lyrical about his great clay court performances. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't realize you were a recent fan. I guess that's
it's one of those things we just end up, is very. It can get all consuming, like trying to learn about all these players and what they're doing and big stats here and whatnot. What was it? When I was younger, I would always watch, like I said, Queen's, Wimbledon, Davis Cup, because they were all on like the BBC, so which is something I could easily I could watch, whereas the rest of the tennis tour was behind paywalls and Sky and whatnot. So I never really got a chance to really follow the tour after that. I mean, there was a time that a free-to-air broadcaster had the French Open, and I watched a bit of that, but I wasn't really that fussed. But it was certainly after 21, I was like, I've got Amazon that has a lot of the tennis. I'm going to watch this a little bit more regularly, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And here I am still.
nice.
It was quite funny because the general notion I had in my head was like it goes clay, grass, hard courts. And then the week after, I turned onto a tournament in Hamburg and I saw clay, and I was like, well, why is there clay? I thought it was all about hard courts now.
Yeah.
That was nuts. Hey, Damien.
Hello. Today is a day of feel-good stories, you know? Jan Struff, even Martin Fucsovics to an extent, Francisco Comesaña. Now, Casper Ruud, this is your turn. I actually haven't seen 1 point yet from this match, but it would kind of fit, you know, if he won it now. Yes.
You know what the score is at the moment?
Overall theme of the day. I know what the score is, yes.
Okay, good. Oh, good forehand that wide. And to keep the feel good going, Man United have just gone 1-0 up, so I'm very happy as well.
Oh, you're a Manchester fan.
But that means John is also happy.
Yeah.
I mean, I would gladly root for your team, but for John's as well. Nah.
There's with the most supported club in the world, you were bound to run into a few of us.
You know what a brilliant match I got to watch with John, actually? The one with Chelsea recently. I was really able to
match?
No, obviously it wasn't, you know,
it was
live.
just on TV. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was just on TV. Basel came as well. And basically, I could see the whole range of emotions, you know, because United went up 3-2 in 85th minute or something like that. And then the last 5 minutes of the match, this guy from Chelsea, Powell, scored 2 goals in whatever.
They dived. The Chelsea player dived to get the penalty to make it 3-3.
So I literally the whole range of emotions, you know, from John.
Oh.
That was really cool. Sure, Ghosty, I'm not jinxing it, but I'm just saying, you know, there is a bit of a good vibe. You can see it by the banana on my face, probably, that I am very happy about how the day has gone so far. I mean, it's impossible not to be happy about Jan-Lennart Struff picking up his maiden title. I feel like with the sort of crap year he's had, it's also impossible not to be happy for Francisco Comesaña to break the top 100. So, but yeah, Struff especially, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
that was a really good run. 4 players that he beat without dropping a set.
He's 34 as well. I mean, it doesn't feel like he should be 30, coming up to 34.
Well, 34 in 4 days, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive, actually, because especially when he had that long injury in 2022, what was his record after half a year? 213, I think, when he played Alcaraz at Wimbledon. And after all that, to still actually get back and make, an ATP 1000 final, have a championship point on grass in Stuttgart, and now win. That's kind of, you know, his latter part of his career, post that injury, has actually been more impressive than his previous achievements. And even with his previous achievements, everyone was like, okay, so he's the best player to not to win a title, one of the best at least, alongside Krajinovic, of course, alongside Beneteau when he was still playing, if we're only talking active players not to win the title.
Who's the best right now to not have won a title?
It's clearly ADF, right? Nah, it's clearly Davidovich Fokina, I think.
Yeah.
If Davidovich Fokina didn't have the ATP 1000 final, then it's a discussion.
Because that's his only final so far.
Yeah, but at the same time, in terms of pushing the top, he's got, let's say, similar achievements to Krajinovic. Probably better records at the slams, right? I don't think Krajinovic has done anything impressive at any slam, really.
Because
Fokina has second weeks at 3 of them, or something like that.
Yeah, I'm just looking actually who players on the ATP
two
rankings.
Of them, but the quarterfinal. Mm-hmm.
I was looking at players at the moment who haven't got a title, or believe I don't have a title. Like say Davidovich Fokina, 27 in the world. Echeverry, he hasn't got a title yet, I believe. He's 30 in the world.
There's a good list on Tennis Abstract, actually. If you scroll down the main page, there is the best ATP players who haven't, and then you have the top 10 highest ranked or something like that without a title. Of course, Struff is still there, but well, Jack Draper
I think-
actually will be a very solid answer soon.
Yeah, Jack's currently 8th on that list, and I suspect at the moment I would certainly say he's the one of the people on the list you should expect now to get a title at some point. To a degree, though, I'm surprised, especially with the amount of clay 250s that he likes to enter, that Echeverry hasn't somehow picked up a title yet.
Yeah, he's had 2 finals. Came pretty close in both of them. At some point, he probably will. I mean, these are players, and actually Davidovich, Fokina included. Like, these players will do it at some point, right? Like,
I think Draper will get his title this week at some point. Not this week, sorry, this year at some point.
Yeah, this week would have been pretty tricky schedule, but yeah. It's very possible, of course, yeah. Arnaldi doesn't have a title, Marozsan doesn't have a title. Again, all these guys can do it, like, literally this year even. So I guess in terms of, like, people we weren't really sure that they were ever going to do it, we were really just talking Struff, Krajinovic in terms of the biggest names. And Krajinovic, of course, by now it looks like he's going to be very unlikely to get there ever.
Yeah, he's kicking around the challenger circuit at the moment, isn't he? At the moment, Damien.
Yeah, I mean, in his first event back, he looked super good, like how clean his game was. But after that, he kind of started like declining even. So I really have no clue what his status is at the moment in terms of
As at the moment, Casper Ruud has 2 set and break points.
Yeah.
Let's see how this goes. Just keep with this for a minute. Goes at the line by Tsitsipas, just out, literally by a whisker. So second serve, so something for Ruud to attack. Is he going to get it done here? Goes at the line. Forehand by Ruud. Back forehand by Tsitsipas. Cross court by Ruud. Cross court by Tsitsipas. Down the line. All Tsitsi into the net. And that is a set for Ruud. The first set has gone to the Norwegian.
Yeah, he came over the backhand pass down the line. He came over the forehand, and then dug out a really nice slice. So some good defensive work. Tsitsipas trying to approach the net on almost every point in that game.
Great bit of play there by Ruud. Really stuck in it and made sure Tsitsipas had to force the mistakes.
Yeah. Well, good stats for him as well. 12 winners in that set. 8 off the forehand.
That's quite a contrast compared to their first set in Monte Carlo, when I think he had 1 winner on the forehand.
Yeah, and also more unreturned serves from him. A really high first serve percentage for most of the set. 79% to 55% for Steph. Yeah, he's also serving better, way better, and yeah, more aggressive on returns, especially also second serve returns. That game that he broke back at 3-2. The Steph raced out to an early start, was up 3-1. But Ruud it always still kind of felt like Ruud was in this set, and it was going to be much more competitive than last week.
Well, it's certainly the first set has lived up to that statement.
Tsitsipas already 3 lost finals in Barcelona.
Yeah,
Nadal, Alcaraz. I guess Nadal, Alcaraz, and now someone from the Rafa Nadal Academy. So someone with, a Spanish coach as well. Like, can you make this a narrative, Vanch? You're the expert, so.
Yeah, sure. RNA people, but it's not really going to be the same, But
See, John's just keeping us updated on the FA Cup scoreline.
Oh, it's the FA Cup as well. I mean, just stop it, guys, already. I mean, really? That's how low you're going to stoop, like, in order to get some sort of comfort from
Whoa. Damien, you're not about to try and cause absolute dismay on one of the oldest cup competitions in the world.
But it's random, You're playing Coventry City in the semis.
It follows a format where every single round teams get drawn out of the hat to play each other. What some people in tennis have asked for is that maybe on a couple of events something similar could happen in tennis, where instead of actually having seeds, everybody gets put in a hat, they play a round, and then they get drawn against each other, and then they get a completely random second round drawing as well.
There is this UK Open tournament in darts, which works like this. Like the first 3 rounds are normal, but then from the 4th round onwards, when all the players join, because the 4th round is when the top 32 in the order of merit join, there you have, basically they're drawing every single round, of course, all the way until the semis. Since after that, there's no reason to draw. It's pretty fun. Yeah, I find it a good addition, but I feel like it's definitely a bit of a different system as well in darts, where you have like 7, 8, maybe depending on how you count, majors a year. So if one has this quirky format, it doesn't really matter, and like all of them kind of try to be different from one another. But because there are so many majors and like there's this one focus on the world championship, it works. But in tennis, if we have like strictly 4 world championships, it definitely couldn't be a major. But then again, like if it's not a major, then what sort of category would it be? And I don't think it's ever going to work. But as an exhibition event, for example, I don't know. If they did it in like a huge tiebreak tennis event or in a huge ultimate tennis showdown thing, sure.
Because I'm sure maybe a couple of 250s at the end of the year they could try it out on, where it's not going to have that much of a massive impact on the calendar, on the rankings, but it enables us to see how this format could work.
I think it's enough of an impact so that the ATP would never go for it.
Okay.
I feel like in general what they sort of do with the decisions regarding the rankings is just like fairness and openness in terms of the Olympics, Davis Cup and stuff. Like that's kind of the main 2 things, and I feel like it would go against a lot of the ATP's politics to try something like that. And I actually think it's also right that we probably shouldn't try it out in a ranking event.
So much better backhand defense from Ruud in this match. Especially that last game. He took to get the set.
Holy Grail, the best. This is a controversial opinion. This is a hot take, Ghosty. But that's actually The Last Crusade is the best Indiana Jones movie because of the relationship between him and between Harrison Ford and Sean Connery. I said it. Any picketers in the chat? Not yet. I haven't been too focused, honestly, on that Tsitsipas Ruud final, to be honest. I'm still watching the Tucuman final. So, as long as it's on, I'll probably just let you guys handle the match commentary. And I'll be there, keeping an eye on it.
Actually, I'm realizing now we all did a stream together 1 year ago. I think that was the last time the 3 of us were doing a Talking Tennis stream. The same stream.
What was the stream?
It was like an ATP weekly type show, but it was after, I remember it was this week in the calendar. It was after Banja Luka, Munich, Barcelona.
I remember the show. I wouldn't have known when, though. We did that. Yeah, I remember we did that. Right, you're right, but I wouldn't have remembered when.
Yeah, I think it was this week only.
Wow, that's a very good memory of that time.
Right, because I remember we were talking about what was it? Yeah, we were talking about who pulled out of Madrid, and it just reminded me because I saw the notification that Berrettini pulled out.
Yes.
And
Today
I remember we
pulled
talked
out?
about that on that show.
Yeah, Berrettini's pulled out of Madrid.
Oh no! Come on.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Yeah, he's not had any luck really after wins the title in Marrakesh, has a bit of a subpar performance in Monte Carlo, and it's kind of not gone. It's some sort of flare-ups happening at the moment.
And he's a former finalist as well, right?
Yeah, it's like one of the few. It's a clay event that suits his game very well.
Yeah, quite a few withdrawals already. I mean, McDonald has been out for a while. Cilic, of course, is lost too. Kazo had that ankle. Murray is injured. Djokovic, we didn't expect, I guess. Jerry also like really struggling this year with his health. A lot of withdrawals. And I guess we're all waiting to see if Carlos Alcaraz joins them or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect him to pull out of Barcelona, and he did. So it kind of gives me a 50-50 chance that he may.
Yeah, there we go. There we go, producer. Look at that. That was us a year ago.
Wow.
Oh yeah. My former apartment.
Oh my goodness. Look at us maturing in the last 1 year.
I have shorter hair. Damien had a beard. Blanche, you look pretty similar, except your camera angle's a bit different.
Dang, yeah.
Let's go to the last state. Vance seems to be aging backwards. Yeah, there's something about it, yeah.
This is
actually
probably don't have the ring light, so my face looks all like dark and stuff.
I definitely look older, which is interesting to me, but because I usually feel like I don't change. But yeah, that's the beard. I'm pretty sure that's just the beard.
At the moment, it's quite tough nip and go at Tsitsipas trying to hold his first service game. 40-all at the moment. With Ruud really putting on the after. Oh, what a brilliant backhand by Tsitsipas. Ruud looked like he had the net covered, and he absolutely hits a night like the angle on that backhand.
Whoa.
Ouch.
Yeah, he would have hit some really good backhand passes today, but how about that from Steph?
More angle than that than there is on a pizza. I tried to.
Oh yes, something. The Challengers movie, all about the Challenger Tour.
I haven't watched the Challengers movie yet. Only planning on watching the Challengers
movie. I mean, I don't plan to watch it in the cinema. I might watch it like at home, but I still haven't watched King Richard, for example. So
really,
yeah. So it will probably take me a while to get to it. I don't really care about it. I know there's like a bit of a challenger, but actually, let me tell you one thing. When it comes to the plot summary, like it's racist. Like if you just type in challengers plot summary, and there's this one thing here, and they say this: to jolt him out of his recent losing streak, she makes him play a challenger event close to the lowest level of tournament on the Pro Tour. I mean, after reading this, I guess I can't really watch that. I mean, I have to actually. I have to just say no to it. No, I mean, I don't think I will review it. You know, it doesn't really have much to do with challengers. But yeah, maybe at some point I will watch it, but I'm not gonna be like over eager to do it. As I said, still King Richard still haven't watched it. Breakpoint still haven't watched it. So, you know, that sort of tennis content doesn't really get to me, I guess. I don't remember a single tennis movie that I enjoyed really.
So the classic that is the 2004 Wimbledon is not.
I haven't watched it.
Absolute still date in your watching record. So okay.
Yeah, it's like on my back burner. No, I mean, I've watched.
What have I watched? I have watched King Richard. What I tend to do is with a lot of these like tennis, like either documentaries or films, is that I tend to save them for that December period when there isn't any tennis on.
Okay.
So just almost like to tide me over until the start of the new season.
Right.
So I've watched King Richard. That was brilliant. There was an Amazon series that they created last year. I think it was called like 15 Love. And it was set around the premise of like almost like an abuse of power between a coach and a female tennis player and a young female tennis player. And they used, I think they used a couple of stories from some female tennis players in the past to help build.
I was just gonna ask if that was based.
I know there's like a Boris Becker one that I heard is like nostalgic for a lot of people, but I haven't seen it.
I guess John must have watched it then, because he lived in the Boris Becker era, and he actually likes Boris Becker quite a lot as a player. So.
I remember watching. I think I remember watching. It was an ITV. It was an ITV documentary of Boris Becker. I remember watching. I think that may be the one you're talking about. Doesn't paint him that well, actually, as a person. He actually makes him look a bit of a dick.
Oh.
Yeah, that one was the Apple TV one. I think that's the one. Yeah, the Becker documentary. Yeah, Moneyball is an awesome movie. It's really good. I don't know who's the closest to that in tennis, to be honest. I don't know, people would say Craig O'Shaughnessy, but it's really not the same. Like, baseball has so much better at stats than tennis.
Yeah, baseball has a lot of, or like football or whatever. The American sports have quite a lot of movies that you can enjoy even if you don't care about the sport. But they're also again, they're not documentaries. They're not about real people, which probably helps.
Yeah.
It helps to watch it from like a perspective of someone who doesn't care about the sport. I just got onto Wikipedia, by the way, and there's this category tennis films, as I was just interested, to see if I forgot about something. And among them is Strangers on a Train by Alfred Hitchcock, which I would not have put in that category, although I guess tennis is a slight... one of the characters, I think, is a tennis player, but I wouldn't say it's a major part of the movie. But, well, apparently that's enough.
2-0 United. Excellent.
Oh, and Ruud, though, is really bullying with his forehand. He's playing big boy tennis, as they like to say.
Oh, the mighty Coventry. Ooh, are we in trouble here, Stefanos?
He's really up against it, Steph. Like he isn't getting it all his own way on his serve. Oh, put away by Ruud there.
Forehand inside in right there.
Wow.
This is just a whole another step up for Casper compared to last week, and just putting Steph on the back foot, really heavy shot making, much better serving. Like, it's just totally different night and day so far.
Is there, is part of that the conditions, or is part of that Tsitsipas 2 tough battles that he had to endure before getting
maybe
into the final?
could be some fatigue, and Tsitsipas trying to come forward and finish points a little bit sooner, maybe less patient, but and some of it might be the conditions a bit cooler, right, in Barcelona right now, and less sunny. Ball's not jumping as high.
Well, Ruud now has 3 break points.
Yeah, I mean, this is Tsitsipas' 11th match in 12 days or something crazy like that. So,
well, I mean, Casper Ruud
played 6.
Casper said the same, right?
Yeah, I think one last match.
Casper played one less because he got a bye into the second round in
Right, because Steph is no longer a top 8 seed, yeah.
Well, he was for that tournament.
Yeah, he wasn't in Monte Carlo. Yeah.
I mean,
I forgot about that. Yeah.
So Casper is literally 3 holes away now.
Yeah, what a couple of lame forehand errors here as well. I guess he was trying to be aggressive, but they're both just dumped into the middle of the net, and the game goes away very quickly, especially after that inside in from Ruud to go 30 down, 30 up, I guess.
There was, in the 2 games that Steph got broken, there was maybe 2 unforced errors I would be critical of. There was one backhand, there was one easy smash that he missed to go down love 30 at 3-2. And that really put him in a really big hole. And then In that last game where he got broken, he made a couple easy backhand errors, and then in this game, the forehand. But obviously, yeah, like you said, just trying to be offensive. And yeah,
Just
who knows?
that-
Maybe there's
just
still a way
about-
back for him. Because you could argue that he shouldn't have even made the semis, because Facundo Diaz Acosta in that quarterfinal had those 2 match points.
I mean, it's no excuses, Ghosty. It's just like, whenever someone wins or loses a match, there are reasons for it, and they don't necessarily have to be excuses. I was just asking the guys, what they think about Casper being so much more aggressive today, and whether it's, there are many external factors in it, which, of course there are. Just the impact of them might vary depending on opinion, really, and that's what I was asking of them about. By the way, in terms of winners, unforced errors, it's going to be very hard to find anything here. ATP has nothing, and well, I will not grab Vansh and kiss him on the cheek out of happiness if Casper wins this match. First of all, it's impossible. Second of all, I do not feel like doing it. I was a lot more excited, though, when Struff won or when Comesaña won earlier today. When Ruud is going to win, it's going to be a smile from me.
So Tsitsipas is holding in here and hits it into the net. Okay.
Just trying to hang on somehow and get any sort of height on that backhand. Just push it over.
I mean, it's quite a big ask to ask somebody to go from winning a Masters 1000 title to a 500 title in the space of 2 weeks.
Yeah, he almost did it in 2021, right? Like he was basically 1 point away against Nadal.
It is a big ask, but at the same time, like Ruud is pretty much doing the same, like very similar, right? Like so.
Yeah, and he's not dropped a set all week, Ruud.
Yeah.
They beat players like Arnaldi, Echeverry. Honestly, his matches have been so like drama free that I don't even remember what his route is to get here. I just remember Arnaldi and Echeverry. Who was it before that? Oh,
Miller,
Thompson.
Alexander
Thompson,
Miller.
Yeah.
So that's all, I guess, right?
Yeah. For Stefanos, it's like Offner, Carvalho's Baena, and then those matches, but.
Oh, he's
Look at that. Look at that redirect on the backhand. All of a sudden, Casper can do no wrong.
I mean, that's just disrespectful, really, isn't it? I put it exactly where I want, when I want to do it.
It's a great story from Eddie there. Apparently, he crossed paths with Boris Becker at 3 a.m. in Hong Kong.
Into a kebab shop. Wow. Okay.
Why are you so surprised? Did you think that Boris Becker doesn't eat a kebab?
No, actually, the moment I heard kebab shop, there's like this really famous restaurant in San Diego called the Kebab Shop. And that's like my go-to place for Mediterranean food. So I was like, wait, kebab shop? What was he doing in San Diego? Oh, okay. Then I read it again and I was like, okay, Hong Kong kebab shop. It's just
I mean, it makes sense, the two sort of like nightlife capitals of the world, Hong Kong, San Diego.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just more surprised that there's kebab shops in Hong Kong. I mean, that's the biggest thing I've got.
Yeah, true. Actually, it is pretty surprising as well that Boris Becker would walk into a kebab shop, I guess. Although he's broke, so.
He was at Monte Carlo last week as well. He got invited into the posh seats.
Casper has played more matches this season and was also in the Monte Carlo final, but just like the guys pointed out, he had one less match there. And also this week, he just had a pretty easy passage. And it's just one of the factors, we're not discrediting a potential Ruud victory. We're just saying Steph is very likely not exactly on top of his game here, as he wasn't in the semis, as he wasn't in the quarters, and in
this
many
is really
ways
just
he
how
should
he's
have
been
been
playing
out.
all week, honestly. Like he hasn't.
This is how he's been playing. Yeah, I mean, he had some unplayable patches. The second set and the beginning of the third set against Diaz Acosta, I thought were just like astonishing. The range that he had on the forehand, that was just something else. But of course, that very quickly ended up being just a easy passage. I'm talking about the passage to the final. I mean, hasn't it been easy? It has.
Yeah, as in like drama-free and not long extended matches like Steph. That's what we mean. We're not discrediting his.
I'm not talking about the final. Like, I'm not including the final and the easy passage, just the way he reached the final. And again, if his opponents were sort of swapped with Tsitsipas, they as well could be an easy passage. They aren't like top 10 players or anything, but of course, Tsitsipas just made a lot harder work out of that.
Damien has a great appreciation for Casper's game after Estoril.
After Estoril, yeah, I had my Ruud awakening. I have to say that's not a bias. That it would actually be biased not to mention this.
Yeah.
It's an important enough factor that you have to mention it, because otherwise you're not being objective. It's hiding it that would be subjective. We won't make the 8K after Stuttgart, but after Madrid, I guess. Still, it's a very good rate, right? I mean, we got a 5K on New Year's Eve, so the channel is growing. I always say that the more subscribers you get, the more followers, the more eyes you get, probably the organic growth goes up as well.
It's like a snowball, isn't it?
Oh yeah, they do that tradition where they go in the pool and like the bulkheads like surround them, right?
And jump in as well.
Yeah.
This one. That was Barcelona, okay, because I remember Alcaraz doing it, but I wasn't sure if it was Barcelona or Madrid.
It seems to be the week of the novelty traditions, doesn't it?
And then they go in their socks, I think, right? Or at least that's what I've seen. They always go in their socks.
Yeah, Madrid do. Was it Barcelona do this, where they make the winner jump into a pool with all the ball kids, and in Stuttgart you get to walk away with it. You get to drive off in a Porsche.
Well, unless you're Elena Rybakina, then you can't drive off.
They need somebody to drive off for you.
Tsitsipas just looks so out of it right now.
I actually don't believe as well that they are really checking their licenses before they give them the Porsche.
No, and also, isn't that only for a public road? Like, can you not just do it on a court, like even if you don't have a license? Anyway.
Yeah, I don't think it's a thing. Like, I doubt anyone would actually, be able to even ask for your identification.
Just remember, it's Germany, where they're quite stricters for the rules in Germany.
All right, this is basically
the recycling, especially.
For Ruud.
The recycling is frustrating anytime I go to Germany.
Can he take this? No, it is.
I'm saying that as somebody who has not been to Germany yet, but it is on a hit list.
Don't worry, guys. He'll have another breakpoint.
Oh, he will. Wow.
Yeah, I guess this final might turn into a disappointment the other way. Oh my goodness.
You said it first, Vance. You said it first.
Yeah.
So the best final today was Stevens Linette, the one no one watched. Of course, I'm only talking about main tour.
The one no one watched. Not to annoy Nick, but that probably is quite true. Stevens won. Wow.
Yeah, she's won her 8th career title.
Is that the first time in like 5 years or something?
Yeah, and didn't she win one like a couple of years ago? I feel like she won a 250.
Who?
Let me have a look.
Stevens.
Sloane? Yeah, she won something in like Mexico or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, early 2022. Someone mentioned in the chat earlier as well.
Guadalajara.
Maybe?
Oh yeah, Guadalajara. She won as a main tour thing in 22. That was when it was a 250 that 1 week.
Exactly.
Oh.
But funny enough, she and Coco Gauff had the exact same career stats. It was pretty wild, and there's like an 11-year age gap between them.
Just keep winning, Nurlan. I mean, she doesn't need to convince anybody. If she keeps winning, she gets to number 1. She wins a slam this year. Then that's kind of how you do it. I mean, I don't think she's gonna care about it that much either. Like, obviously, she is among the top 2 this year, post Australian Open, definitely among the top 3 the whole year. So. Oh yeah, Michael basically said exactly that. And Rybakina is actually doing that too, like, right? I mean, I don't think she cares much. Marta Kostyuk clearly cares. I really did not like that quote that John posted. I don't know if you guys saw that.
What was the quote that
you
posted?
From her.
Maybe he can show it from Kostyuk. Maybe he can show it to us, or if not, I will find it and read it out. But basically, where is it? Yeah, so she says that
making a point about the draws, right?
Tennis is different every day, every tournament. I can play a 500, play 4 out of 5 matches against top 10 players, but Kinven this year in Australia, she made it to the final without facing top 50 opponent. Yeah.
That's tennis.
A necessary dig, yeah, for sure.
That's Marta Kostyuk. She couldn't end a great tournament for her without saying something. That's, well,
it happens. I mean, it's I know what the point she's trying to make, which is, hang on a minute, it's so tough what I had to do here to get to the final, whereas for Quinn Wen, it was actually relatively easy. But that's how tennis draws work, is that, you all play each other, you all put into a draw format, and then whoever's able to win 7 games in a row wins the title.
I mean, I first of all, I don't think she has a point, but even if she does, it's really, really weird.
I say I understand that point. I don't I don't agree with it.
It's also like weird to say it. Like, why would you have to bring down the successes of your peers at the same time? Just be happy about what you achieved,
Yeah.
This just screams salt, basically. And
well, I mean, what was the question? That's what I want to know.
I don't know.
Because maybe the question was literally about something related to ranking and stuff. Then maybe I'd understand.
Probably something about that, yeah. Just playing a very tough set of opponents or something like that.
I had this. It's funny as shit, when I had this really hot take in a group chat the other day that, like, I think Kostyuk will have a better career than Jinwen. It's a really hot take, according to John. So let's see.
I don't think she will, but it's.
And they're 6 and 7 in the race right now, so
it's not horribly wrong.
From
Australia. But Quinlan's got a final.
I thought at the time it was a bit of an overreaction to their match because, well, I mean, Kinver had 5 match points,
Yeah.
That's a good one from Nurlan indeed, yeah.
That's that Nurlan.
Okay,
no, it's always, like I say, it's always the way with tennis that there can be some weeks where all the draws and seedings hold up really well, and your ability, what you have to do to battle through them or to get anywhere near the finals and whatnot, you have to go out with some pretty tough opponents.
Kostyuk had a similar quote like this, didn't she, about Leila and Raducanu?
Yeah,
that was her, right?
Yes.
It's not the first time, and I mean, she's
So
said
this would
she's
indicate that
done
she
and
has a
said
pattern
some
of doing
very
this.
questionable stuff about many things as well.
Yeah, like she has a pattern of doing
And
this for sure.
yeah,
Actually, she's had a similar answer when I asked her in San Diego about like your record against top 10 players. You know, you were 0-14, and now you've won whatever 5 of the last 7.
Mhm.
You know, so what do you think has really changed for you? And she's like, honestly, you know, like I played Pavlyuchenkova today, and she's not in the top 10, but she played like a top 10 player. And sometimes I play top 10 players, and they're, you know, they're not playing. They're playing like they're number 95. So she gave me an answer like that. And she's like, well, it's not really Arena or Iga because they're at the very top. So if it's really, you know, if it's anyone else ranking, doesn't really matter or something like that. So it's kind of in line with her thinking here. Like,
yes. It's. I don't think it's healthy in the long term, but if she chooses to think like that, sure, go ahead. It's just not something I, endorse. Especially
And to be
the
honest,
part
she
of
had. I mean, she had a
bringing
final.
down others. You know.
I mean, she had a final against Katie Volter in San Diego, which is a similar level event as the Stuttgart one. As it sounds like a big-ish tournament, you could have a bit of a breakthrough at. And the best player won at the time. The best player won on the day in terms of Katie Volter, but that was a very even match, if not having Kostniuk ahead in that one in terms of as the favourite in that contest.
There, John is
so it's all
telling
about
us what
taking
the
those
question
opportunities.
was.
would you consider this week a break? Oh, okay. Would you consider this week for a breakthrough? Oh, wow. Okay, so that really had nothing to do with ranking or
With
opponents.
Kinven, yeah. With opponents,
That's-
it kind of had because she
Yeah.
probably was going to talk about like
beating 3 top 10.
basically, yeah. What she had
Oh,
to
okay,
do in
yeah,
order to
okay.
get
Actually,
to the
no,
final.
maybe it does make sense then, yeah, because like, is it really a breakthrough because she had the same result in San Diego, but just this was obviously a much stronger field.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good one. But I mean, she still beat Pegula in San Diego, right? And Pavlyuchenkova, who is apparently a top 10 player. So.
Yeah, I was playing like one that day, which I can't really disagree with. She was.
I mean, who doesn't peak for San Diego much?
Yeah, you have to. It's one of the 5 majors, that we have
I'll
in the
say
year.
something that's controversial, but if Pavlyuchenkova was really playing like a top 10 player that day, she wouldn't have lost to Kostyuk.
But Kostyuk is playing like a top 10 player this year, so I guess it makes sense.
Pavlyuchenkova has a higher seeding.
Watch peaks for San Diego. I mean, Kostyuk is what, like 21? Like, it's pretty wild. Like, she's only 21.
Yeah, we are talking about the December
oldest 21-year-old in
earlier.
the game.
15 when she was 15 years old, she reached that third round at the Australian Open, and you just think that she's been around for decades, but she hasn't.
Yeah.
John saying John saying that he peaked for the first 2 days of Estoril.
Who?
That's what John said.
Wait, who peaked for the first 2 days? John peaks for the first 2 days of Estoril. Okay.
And one of those days was rained off.
Yeah, I guess, but then we went out for drinks and he had that whole chicken joint experience. So I guess maybe in a way, it's a long story and maybe one day, but I also don't know if it would have been as funny as it was for me being there, but it was definitely quite a scene. All right, so Casper Ruud will be forced to serve out this match as he missed that forehanded 30-all, which actually was a proper opportunity.
This is going to become a scene if Casper wins this game.
First point critical, and Tsitsipas hits it out.
Yeah. For that forehand inside out, he's missed a few of those this match. But I would say he's missed them all tournament. So he's kind of looked a little bit off balance at times from the baseline on both sides, but even on the forehand. Wow. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, if you watch their Monte Carlo match, you would actually not know that Ruud has a winning head-to-head over Steph. in all their ATP matches.
He didn't. He didn't.
You
He
know,
didn't.
Coco, then you have Barcelona now, and then also Madrid. So he's beaten him in, like, I guess, 3 places where Tsitsipas has had success.
On the clay as well.
But he still won't have a winning record against him.
Yeah, I know. It's like that random interest match or whatever.
Random final.
It was a final?
battle. Yeah, final.
Oh, okay. Wait, what year was that?
Random 3-set battle.
16, 17,
2016, yeah. 2016, yeah.
I mean,
Here
they
we
were
go.
basically juniors at
Here
that
we
point.
go.
That
Match point. Right,
Alright,
3
here we go.
championship points. Let's just go through this one here. Is Ruud going to take it on his first attempt? Ball goes up, goes out wide. It is wide though in the tram line. It's a second serve. So takes the ball up into the air, cross court, backhand by Steph, backhand by Ruud, forehand by Steph up the line, cross court by Ruud, forehand by Steph, backhand by Ruud, forehand by Steph, backhand by Ruud, slice though, up the line, Steph, and it's long, and that's it. Casper Ruud is finally a ATP 500 champion, beating Stefanos Tsitsipas 7-5, 6-3 in what can only be described as quite a straightforward-ish match for Ruud. The big monkey is off his back. He can now no longer get rid of the title of the 250 King. He is proving it in a bigger stage on the clay, as we probably would expect he would do so. On a stadium named after the guy's academy he trains at and is a member at. Of course, that being the Rafael Nadal Academy. Wow, his time certainly has come. Lads, thoughts?
Yeah, amazing performance, I would say. You know, a really good turnaround from bouncing back from a tough loss last week in the finals, where, you know, we were really starting to doubt Casper's ability to play these big finals. But today he really stepped up, I think, mentally as well, but also physically. He seemed to have the right game plan. Tsitsipas not playing his best tennis, certainly, that's for sure, but that had a lot to do with Casper's performance today, especially the games that he played to break back, and then the finish and how he was just able to carry that momentum in the second set, never really felt in doubt. So just really good stuff overall. And I guess, does this kind of change the way we look at, you know, Roland Garros, or do we just kind of, you know, put both Steph and Casper, whatever order you want, in tier 2 going into the next big tournaments?
Good question. That I'll let Damien answer first of all, and I'll give my take.
I mean, good on Casper for delivering on like the aggression that he has been like sort of associated with this year. He didn't do that in the Monte Carlo final. He did today. So performing in a bigger final is certainly quite huge for him. I still don't think he deserves to be in the same tier as, well, at least at the same level of a tier as Tsitsipas at Roland Garros potentially, just because his ability to beat the top guys is probably slightly weaker than Steph's. Then again, I mean, of course, Tsitsipas for the last years has also been struggling against all these Djokovic's, Alcaraz's, Sinners and stuff. So still the top 3 who actually wasn't at this event, the top 3 who actually hasn't started their clay season all that well, these are the main favorites to me. But yeah, it's just fantastic for Casper to deliver in a big final, especially after what happened in Monte Carlo last week.
No, I would tend to agree. I mean, I think, as we were saying, Fanch, at the beginning of the show, you would put Ruud, you would put Tsitsipas in that sort of tier 2-esque category. You know, the tier 1, that being Sinner, Alcaraz, and Djokovic, as ones you would not be surprised if they won the French Open. When it comes to Ruud and when it comes to Tsitsipas, yeah, you would certainly put them in that second tier. I would put jointly almost, because given that Ruud is very good at being able to work his way through draws, especially when it comes to Roland Garros, where he's a 2-time finalist and, you know, is defending final points this year around as well. So certainly would have them in that sort of tier 2, along with Zverev, just because Zverev is good on the surface, and at the bigger events, Zverev does does show up, especially on the clay courts. So I certainly would have them there. I mean, we would have to see one of these two players potentially winning Madrid or Rome, probably looking at Rome. As I said, when you said Casper Ruud, the big monkey, I thought that was a bit harsh. Then he finished the sentence with "off his back." Okay, that's taking a kill to that. Yeah, I think we'd have to see one of these two players win. Potentially Rome beating the likes of Sinner, Alcaraz, and Djokovic along the way for them to be a discussion about moving them any higher than the sort of tier 2 that we would probably put them in at the moment.
Yeah, I'd second that. I think Madrid, Rome, if Alcaraz plays both, if Sinner plays both, if Djokovic shows up in Rome with good form, they will still be the main favorites going into Roland Garros, just because if Ruud or Tsitsipas face one of these three in the Roland Garros final, we probably won't be trusting them too much. But they have so far been the two best players of the clay season, no doubt about it. I mean, no one really comes into the conversation, maybe other than Yannick Sinner, if he doesn't get injured in the third set in Monte Carlo. But yeah, it's been a fabulous start. Such an intense clay season for Casper as well, right? I mean, Estoril semi, final Monte Carlo, title in Barcelona. If he goes deep in Madrid or Rome, I don't think he's going to show up in Geneva this time. And basically, yeah, it looks like it might be that sort of a swing for Casper, where he just plays every single week, goes deep every single week. But, well, that's what he's been doing this year.
Well, we know that he'll take the entirety of the grass court season off, barring a rocking up to Wimbledon to collect his first round paycheck. And that
last year he won a match, right?
He did win a match because I think he played Albert Ramos Vinolas, another clay court.
no, that was against Choinski. Choinski played Ramos Vinolas for sure. I don't remember who Ruud played. I mean, second round, obviously Liam Brody, the man, the myth, the legend, the friend of the show. But the first round?
I swear it was a clay court specialist like him. He played in the first round.
Must be, because otherwise he wouldn't have won, right?
Let me look that up. If somebody else can rabbit on a minute, let me look that up.
Who was it? It was like someone like, was it a Brit? No, it wasn't a Brit.
No. It was definitely Choinski.
Here we are. It was something low-key. Lawrence.
Lawrence.
Loro Locoli was in the Wimbledon main draw last year?
Yeah.
What?
He took a set off Ruud.
No way he qualified. Did he make it as a lucky loser or something?
Must have.
No, I mean, he wasn't that high in the rankings. Did he really qualify for Wimbledon last year? I do not remember that in the slightest. I mean, obviously he was at Roland Garros, but wow, that's pretty insane. I wouldn't. Yeah, he qualified. Oh yeah, beating Michael Moe in 5 sets in the final round. No, but okay, that's insane. I mean, Laurent Locoli is currently like on the verge of falling out of the top 400. But yeah, okay. So if he draws Laurent Locoli again in the first round, he's gonna win it. Yeah.
Well, there we go.
That was one of the best matches I've seen Casper play in a big match.
Which one against Laurent Locoli in the first round Wimbledon? Yeah. Or maybe against Liam Brody, because Liam Brody played top 10 tennis on the day.
Oh my gosh, no. Don't even Don't even
with
that.
Today, right? you meant today, right?
I love Liam Brody, but no. Just no. I think he'd probably call you crazy too.
Of course. I mean, I wasn't serious.
Although didn't he beat Diego Schwartzman the year before that too, or do I have that?
He did, yeah.
Yeah, he did. Okay. So yeah, he shows up at Wimbledon and grass like you would expect.
He started showing up at Wimbledon that year, like 2022. Before then, he had like a 40%, well, less, like a 30% win rate on grass. He only really started playing anything on it the last couple of seasons. But yeah.
Yeah, but I was saying it's this is a time of the year in which Ruud will maximise as much as possible. I think, as you say, given the fact that he's won his title now, he's gone deep last 3 weeks. He's going to do both Madrid and Rome. Will he rock up to Geneva, a place he's won on a couple of occasions, to really play every single week of the clay court season, as he has done at the moment before the big one, which is Roland Garros. We of course know that he's down also when we do the post Wimbledon swing. He's down to play to go back to Borstad, and we wouldn't be surprised if he chose to go to Kitzbühel or or Umag as well. Probably Kitzbühel.
No, actually, Kitzbühel, he's probably going to play, right?
Yeah, that's the second week of post clay swing or the post clay.
Yeah, because you wanna play something before the Olympics. I think
Yeah,
he's
and I
already
think
signed
Sinner
up.
is also going to be playing some of those tournaments, right? Or at least one, if not two. Or he's entering them.
I mean, he might sign up for them, but I think he's only going to play one. There's no way he goes for the full thing, especially if he goes deep at Wimbledon. And yeah, Ghosty, that's John, and there was also Jack there in a black shirt, I think. They got to sit with the Brody box.
I know it's a little bit of an off topic, but I think we are starting to see some of those July clay tournaments already announcing some of their players. I mean, Sinner's announced for Borstad along with Rublev. Ruud and Zverev, and I believe Tsitsipas as well are confirmed for Hamburg. Demonor's going to Gustad. So there's certainly a lot of these players are already committing to their pre-Olympic build-up.
Yeah, but I mean, there's no way if Sinner goes deep at Wimbledon, there's no way he plays both events and then Olympics. Like, no. But anyway, of course, topic for that will be the time for that discussion will be much later. Apparently, Coventry City is not doing too hot either. Oh, it's 0-3.
Yeah, it's all going.
Probably not mounting a comeback here. Yeah, who's awaiting in the final? Is it already known or?
It's Manchester City, I believe.
All right.
It's looking like it's a repeat of the FA Cup from last year.
Stefanos, it's gonna be Stefanos Tsitsipas, you know, that sort of at ATP 500 finals. That's something like that. Is ATP Weekly tomorrow? Probably, yeah. We haven't set it up yet.
In your opinion, is that ATP finals, the 500 finals thing, is that really like something super important, like narratively, or is it like who cares because he has 3 Masters in an ATP finals? Like, do we just ignore that?
It's total BS. It's total BS. What you just said, I also mentioned on the Stuttgart stream earlier that like for Ruud, this is actually a proper milestone to win a title over the 250 level. For Tsitsipas, nah. Come on. If you have 3 ATP thousands and an ATP finals title, you don't care if you've won a 500. It's a made up stat, but it's a funny one. And especially now that he's 0 and 11, it's gonna just get shared even more. And yeah.
Not to be perdickety, it's not a made-up stat. It's an actual stat, but it's a stat that doesn't really have much relevance.
Its relevance is made up. Yes, its relevance is made up.
But he'll win one
on him, or its relevance is.
Also, if both these guys, let's say, lose early in Madrid because of fatigue or just having played won so many matches in a row, does that really change your perception going into them? The clay season, or is it that if they actually lose early in Madrid, it's fine because they have more time for Rome, and Rome is more similar to RG anyway in terms of the conditions?
I wouldn't be too concerned if they went out early in Madrid. I think the concerns would the only way I would be concerned is if they went out early Rome. Then there'd be maybe some issues.
I agree.
I would say that both events really, like regardless of how they perform in Madrid and Rome, they're going to be among that 6-7 favorites group for Roland Garros. Like it would be very hard for them to get knocked off that right now.
Yeah.
Like I think if Casper or Steph lose early in Rome, then they have so much time to prepare for Paris as well. I don't think it would bother them that much.
Yeah. But anyway, good run for both of them. They each picked up a title.
They've certainly both at this stage of the season marked themselves out as standout performers of the swing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And for Tsitsipas, he really changed the entire narrative of his season, right? I mean, he was 25 in the race, like when Monte Carlo started, and now he's what, 5 or 6, maybe 5. So like that's still, like now he's really established himself again. It's
amazing what a 1,300 point boost can do to your ranking.
Yeah.
Cool. Shall we wrap this up? Allow people to go watch the trophy ceremony?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Sound good. Well, thank you everyone who has logged in for this stream. As you probably guess, tomorrow there is no tennis. It is all qualifiers and challenger things, which I'm sure Damien will be watching. Madrid starts off for the women starts on Tuesday, and for the men starts on Wednesday. And of course it's the big 12-day event, so get ready for seeing Madrid quite a lot on your screen for the next week and a bit, or at least 2 weeks from now. Thanks, Vanch, and thanks, Damien, all for being on board. And remember, if you haven't already, hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed already. That'd be brilliant. See you later on.
Yep. See ya.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.